well, I got to shout out DoseOfDion, man, because it was actually the first time I went live on YouTube. And, guys don't know DoseOfDion. He put out a lot of good content for the Detroit Lions.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Romeo Okwara, who signed a 3-year, $39 million, up to $39 million deal with the Detroit Lions today to return, which feels very good. We're also going to, push in a little bit of Trey Flowers and a little bit of Julian Okwara as well as we do this reaction to some film here. Now, I don't have the full contract details for Romeo Okwara yet. Unfortunately, we have not got those yet, so I don't exactly know how they laid out the contract. But 3 years, $39 million. Now the question is, all right, was he worth the deal? My answer to that would be yes. He was absolutely 100% worth the deal. Now I know it's easy to just look at the sack numbers and say 10. Okay, 10's not bad, but it's not Hendrickson who had 13.5. I get that. I get it. But Romeo, he's been getting pressure. But last season, he was phenomenal. Now, he was getting pressure. 2018, he was getting pressure. 2019, he was getting pressure. 2018, he had 7.5 sacks. Year after that, he had 1.5 sacks. He was still getting pressure. The difference is he wasn't able to come up with the sacks. So I like to look at pressure. What kind of pressure was he getting in 2020? Well, let's just say he was tied for 5th in the league for pressure with Joey Bosa. 61 pressures. Think about that for a second. 61 pressures in 16 games? Are you kidding me? That's 4 a game. That's basically 4 pressures a game for Romeo Okwara. That's big. That's very important. That's why it's 5th in the league last season with Joey Bosa. And when you talk about getting pressure amongst your team, he was 3rd. All right? He was responsible for 29% of the Lions' pressure last season. 29%. Over a quarter, almost a third of the Lions' pressure came from number 95. So we're going to take a look at number 95 in today's video who signed that big deal. And I also want to look a little bit at the rest of the Detroit Lions pass rushers because you guys probably read somewhat of the title. I don't know how I titled this, but I think the Lions pass rush can be legitimately scary next season. Like, I really think it could be scary. So we're coming off a year where we had Matt Patricia's defense. And Matt Patricia ran a 3-4, 2-gap system all the time. Now, he mixed different things in, but that was the main defense, which meant you have defensive linemen filling 2 gaps. So they're not as attacking, they're more reactionary. They're disciplined. They have to hold their gap. They have to fill their lanes. They have to clog their lanes, which means that guys like Romeo Okwara, maybe they're a little bit too small. So because of that, Matt Patricia, I think the reason that when they initially brought him in, he was supposed to be, just because it was a cheap deal, just a 3rd down pass rushing specialist. But he evolved into such a good pass rusher that they had to find a way to get this guy on the field more often. And now that we have signed to the big deal, clearly we can see that. So they had to try to get him onto the field more often. We'll kind of go through the stages that I saw last season. But in general, it's not the best defense to run in terms of defensive linemen putting up numbers. Hendrickson was in a defense that was built for putting up numbers. Okay, he played all the pass rushing situations, mainly all the pass rushing downs where they expected the pass to happen. Romeo Okwara played 67%. He played a little over 50%. He played all the pass rushing situations. They had 4 down linemen. They had Cam Jordan. They played 1 gap. I mean, that's built for those defensive linemen to attack and get after it. There is the possibility the Lions try to stay 3-4, try to stay 2-gap like they kind of did last season. So what do you have to do? Well, Nick Williams could have a role here. John Penisini, those big guys have to continue to be out there, because you're going to have to try to slow down the run. He was so good, they had to find a way to get him on the field early downs, even if he was undersized, even if, it wasn't the best scheme fit for the Detroit Lions. Because it started, as crazy as it sounds, with him rotating with Trey Flowers. And it was like, Lions, what are you doing? Why are you rotating Romeo and Trey? They need to be on the field at the same time. And here's an example you'll see there. I want to show you guys a couple examples of what I'm saying. Let me slow this down a little bit, and we'll start to really dive into this thing. So here's against the Cardinals. You can see him over here, number 95, Romeo Okwara. You can see the 2 blocks that he's got to take on because the Lions are only bringing 3 pass rushers. Look, the Lions didn't blitz a lot last season. They blitzed timely, but they didn't do it a lot. That's something I expect to change as well. Dom Capers coming here. He's going to bring the pass rush. That's what he does. That's what he's known for. He's known for zone blitz. He's going to bring the rush. That's when he's successful, is getting after it. Aaron Glenn was in defense last year. That brought the pressure. I expect there to be some aggressiveness. It doesn't mean we're going to blitz the most, but I expect this team to try to get after it a little bit more next season. So that'll be very helpful as well. But situations like this is very difficult for a guy like Romeo to be extremely impactful. I mean, what is he supposed to do there? First off, he's not the biggest guy. Then he's taking on a double team. There's not much he can do there, and of course we give the touchdown. That's another point. Not trying to go on a rant here, but dang, our secondary was bad last season. Okay, I'm just gonna be straight up and honest. Now it's not all the players' fault. Like let's coaching, that's an issue. Injuries were a big issue, especially early season. I mean, you had Okuda out, you had Trufant who never really played. Coleman was dealing with some stuff. I mean, we had injuries throughout our entire cornerback group. Where week 1 we're going to Tony McRae. It's like, why is Tony McRae out there as a number 2? Well, that's all we got. Like, that's a problem. That is a big problem. And that's what you'll notice if you take a look at the Lions. They had big issues in the back end. They didn't have guys healthy, so that was a big problem. They really struggled in coverage last season. And now with the Lions bringing in Aaron Glenn, Aubrey Pleasant, Aaron Glenn, our DC, who was a secondary coach, who's been so well developing young guys, the hope is that if this secondary can kind of pick it up a little bit, I actually believe that this team could get some rush next season. They're going to be more aggressive. If they go to one cap scheme, especially that way they're not as reactionary, they can get after it with the size that we have on defensive line. It would make sense. Regardless, the Lions, I think, are going to get some pressure next year. And let me show you why. So I'm going to show you just one more example. Here you got Trey Flowers because I thought I'd mix him in as well. Now, notice how Romeo's not in the field, right? Because they would rotate. Whatever. They rotated for some reason. But anyways, you have Romeo over here. You have Trey over here. They really didn't play on the field that often together early in the season, and he's going to take on, two guys as well. So he's not going to get a lot of pressure out of this. And then you have Christian Jones setting edge. He's not going to make many plays. So basically the job of a two-gap defense is to set up plays for the linebackers. The linebackers are the guys that get the numbers because the defensive linemen do the dirty work. They clog the lanes. And then the linebackers are the guy that makes plays. So we got, Pennicini. We got, who's this? Deshaun Hand. Trey Flowers, we got the big dudes in there, and they're there to hold the ground, to clog the lanes, and that's what they do, right? They clog their lanes, and now it's up to the linebackers, it's up to Jamie, it's up to Christian to make the play, and that's what happens. But those aren't going to be big numbers for defensive linemen. However, we still saw guys like Romeo Okwara put up numbers, and Trey, he has never played no one-gap defense. I'm just saying, all right. Not saying we'll do that next season, but even just being aggressive will be huge for them. All right, now this play, we're going to start off here for Romeo Okwara. I just want to show his athleticism. To me, Romeo Okwara is all about athleticism. His game is based on speed. He's a speed player with some really nice speed rush moves. If you're in a system where you run a 4-3, if you're in a system where you have one gap, you don't need to be as big because you're not about filling the lanes. You're about attacking, which is his strength. And you're going to see here him just going sideline to sideline. He's got Taysom Hill trying to block him, kind of just shoves him off there, like, get off me, dude. And then he's able to make this play. He makes a lot of plays in open field, and we're going to see some examples. I didn't realize how many times he made plays in open field where he's against, guys with the ball where it's like, well, that's going to be a problem for defensive end, where it wasn't an issue for him. Now you're going to see him on the left side here of the defensive line. And now you got Josh Hill, our Josh Hill. I like it. Josh Hill's a really good blocker. Josh Hill's going to hold his own most of the time, but just look at the power there. Just kind of takes him off his feet and gets Drew Brees. I mean, that's just, look, I understand Josh Hill's a little undersized. He's 250 though, not small. Hill's a good blocker, but he literally just lifts that guy off his feet, says, get out of my way. What are you trying to do? And keep Trey Flowers on the other side here. He's going to get a one-on-one opportunity. Trey Flowers, I don't know what's going on, but he's got a lot of strength too, and they collapse it. You'll notice when they have one-on-ones, things can be a problem. And also, think about this. Our defensive line never played healthy together last season. It's a big reason we trade for Everson Griffin because we just weren't healthy. We never played healthy together. There was never a time when Everson, Trey, Romeo, Danny were all on the field. Never happened. That's an issue, right? So we need to be healthy next season, hopefully more often. A lot of injury issues, like I said, with the secondary as well. Let's go back a little bit. I think, this is slowed down. Again, this is the same Josh Hill play. I want to go back. I didn't want to miss the next one. Romeo Okwara here on the left side. You got Trey going one-on-one. So you got some one-on-one opportunities. You can see Romeo Okwara. He's got really nice counter rush moves. He'll start with a bull rush, and he'll kind of work you, and he'll kind of set up your arms, and then he'll make a move. Right there, you can see him make the move against the tackle. He's able to get in there. That doesn't count as a sack. But this should be, for a lot of teams, a sack. I noticed with the Saints last year, Hendrickson, a lot of his sacks came on, the play was broken down, and the quarterback had nowhere to go football. It's like coverage sacks. Romeo didn't get many coverage sacks. He got a few, but not many. Not many times was he picking up coverage sacks, and that's because the Lions' coverage really struggled. This is one of those situations where you would think this would result in a sack, but it doesn't, right? Boom, makes the move. Drew Brees throws it up one-on-one. And we're beat, right? We're beat. You got 3 defensive linemen. So, again, Lions going back to what they do. But, so you can see these trying to clog lanes. But watch Romeo in space here. This is just the first example. He knocks that guy off his path. But I didn't realize how much they play him in space. And I just want to throw that in there because you're going to see how much they actually use him. You got Trey Flowers on this side going to work. He's going to split the 2 offensive linemen, then go to his spin. But, man, Romeo is the guy you got to watch for. Again, against Josh Hill. Stop putting Josh on this guy. What are you thinking, Saints? I understand he's not most powerful, but, man, look at him just drive him back to the quarterback. And again, with one arm, he's driving him back. He's driving him back with one arm, keeping one arm out to make this play. But again, the pass just goes straight up, and we're beat. We got beat so often in the back that we could bail out quarterbacks. We weren't able to hold up. I'm all in for help in the secondary after watching some of these. I'm just like, bro, we gotta allow our guys to get there. We gotta allow our guys to get there, man. And hopefully health is a big factor. Hopefully we get to develop these guys. Now against Jacksonville, and I want to show Jacksonville because, man, this was fun. This was a game that I turned on film. I know Jacksonville's not good, so it's expected, but Julian was healthy, and, man, we need to see Julian next year. Say that this is a Warriors. When I say that this could be dangerous, it could be. When Julian, Trey, and Romeo are on the field at the same time, it's dangerous. Now, another issue with the Lions was they didn't get tons of opportunities, and Trey talked about it. We won't have opportunities to get after the quarterback if we don't stop the run. Well, part of that is that you have defensive line out there that aren't big enough to stop the run. You're asking Trey and Romeo to fill gaps to play a 2-gap system, but they're too small. So what they have to do? Well, they had to go to Pennicini, Nick Williams, right? They had to go to these big guys, and now you're not getting pass rush on the field. So they had to find a way to stop the run. So that's what they do. If they don't stop the run, they can't get after the quarterback. Linebacker play needs to be better, right? Need to be more efficient as linebackers. Also, coverage needs to be better. But if you can't stop the run, you're not going to have opportunities to get after the quarterback. Lions, when they slowed down the run, they were able to use these pass rushers. And that's why, again, 1-gap could be better because you don't need that size on early downs like you do in 2-gap. All right, so let's take a look here. We got Romeo on the left. We got Trey Flowers on the right. Watch both these guys as we go through. This one's about Romeo Okwara, and it's just his quickness. I mean, it's kind of a whiff of a block here, but you're just going to see his quickness, right, to just kind of fly through here. This blocker comes off really late, but he's going to make a play in the backfield. Again, I think his game's on athleticism. Kind of miss him there. You'll notice that sometimes he overruns things. That'll be something he has to clean up. But here we go. Let's get it. Julian Okwara, Romeo Okwara, Trey Flowers. This is like the death lineup, man. You don't want this coming at you. I'm telling you. Next season, if we roll out, if we get you stopped on early downs, because we couldn't do it last year, man. We had so many occasions where it was 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, 2nd and 10. We didn't get 3rd down occasions enough. You give me a healthy Julian, a healthy Trey, and a healthy Romeo on this front, it's scary. And I'm going to show you why. Like, okay, the Lions are only going to bring 4 guys. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many blockers they got? They got 6 blockers. They're going to send Julian Okwara on a stunt. They're going to have Trey Flowers go inside to set up the stunt. Watch Romeo over here. He's got the 101. Watch Julian just fly through there on a stunt. You can see Romeo Okwara using some of his strength to kind of collapse the pocket from the left side. And Trey Flowers does a great job setting up stunts because he's just really strong for interior offensive lineman. Trey Flowers is going to take on 2 guys. And it's supposed to open up Jamie Collins if he wants to go or curse. But it's really the 2 edge guys here. Watch Julian. Romeo Okwara is going to beat his guy, but look how quickly Julian does this. He's based on speed as well, just like his brother. And watch how fast he does it. It's kind of a similar thing there. Boom. Quick hands, right? Smacks the hands down, works his way back there. Jamon Curse is sent on the blitz. He gets back to the quarterback. They follow him around. He didn't get a sack there. He could have had a sack if you would have brought him down. But that's what I'm telling you. Like, this guy can get to the quarterback, and right here was just beautiful. Woo! Go right by him. Go right by him, man. And you got both Romeo Okwara guys just collapsing the heck out of that thing. It's just, I mean, what the heck is that? How does that even happen, right? What he does is he can get you high. He'll hit you high on top of the shoulder pads, and he kind of gets your arms stuck down. Then he's going to work his way around really quickly, and boom, he's to the quarterback. Something went down in the inside here. I think the Lions showed pressure. They didn't really bring it here. Oh, wow, what a nice move by Flowers. He lost his balance, but man, nice move there. And he gets back there and he forces the incomplete pass. This is one of those games where we actually did cover well. So, probably because we were playing the Jaguars. But, and some bad throws were made. But we were able to kind of show what we could potentially be as a pass rushing unit. But this is why it's not all about sacks, because better coverage, and these are probably turning into sacks, right? You beat your guy initially. Gets you with the rip-through move. You got Trey Flowers pursuing. Just unfortunately, they couldn't get a sack here. But, sack numbers aren't everything. They can very, very much fluctuate like it did for Romeo in 2018, 2019. It's about getting to the quarterback consistently. If you're doing that, you're throwing off plays most of the time. You got both guys. So you can see how they're working on the edge together now rather than early in the season when that wasn't the case. Trey Flowers. Trey Flowers is a perfect, what do they call it, yin to the yang for a Romeo Okwara. Romeo Okwara is based on athleticism. Flowers is strong, and he has pass rush. Flowers got the whole package. There's a reason this guy was paid. This dude is strong. Watch him just roll back that tackle and come up with the strip sack, and he recovers it, by the way. And I just wanted to show that hit because I love it. He can also drop into coverage. But I love watching that hit. Here we go again with the stunts. This is something we're going to see a lot next season. That's why I'm showcasing it, because they can be very good in stunts. Working his way all the way around the side. A lot of stunts next year you're going to see with Dom Capers. He's going to mix that in for sure. Here's another one actually after this play. And this kind of stuff can be tough because you got a lot of guys you got to worry about. Romeo Okwara coming inside. There's another stunt there. I thought I would just show that off. And now you're going to get some more one-on-ones. Again, look, this won't count as a sack, but watch how quickly he beats his guy off the snap here. Right? He beats him right off the snap. I mean, we're just getting started. And he's got his guy beat quickly, gets there, knocks down Minshew. Won't count as a sack, but he's to the quarterback. Now you're going to get, again, these are a lot. When the Lions were able to get in passing downs, they were able to be successful because they could do things like this. Trey Flowers inside is a problem. And then you get Romeo on the right side. Again, we're not seeing a lot of Julian. I think he was hurt for many of these games. But look at that nice quick spin move. And he's got one-on-one here with now the guard. Works his way around, throws him off, and gets to the quarterback. Right? He's got 2 guys to worry about. Just shoves him off, rip through. You love the rip through, man. He sets it up, then rip through, right? He uses his arms to extend, pushes you back, then he rips through, undercut that arm, and it's very, I mean, that's a pass rushing move right there. You can tell he's been working. And here's another example. You can see how fast they're kind of flying to it. Like, there's 3 guys, including Jared Davis, who is now gone. But there we go. We got chasing down that time. They get it off again. But this one, to me, was more about Romeo Okwara. Watch how far Romeo drops. I didn't know Romeo was dropping like this. Look, Romeo dropping coverage. And watch this. This is 3rd and 10. He's got to make that play on a running back. I will make that play then. Okay, Romeo. I didn't know you were about that life. I see you, though. Here we go. Romeo one-on-one at the top here. Works right by his guy, but what are we doing in coverage? Like, we weren't even giving our teams a chance, right? Let's count this together. Let's do this in full speed and let's count this, because we're seeing this in slow-mo. 1, 2, 3. And we don't even get the 3, and he's got the ball off. Now, the pocket's collapsing, but this is because we're not able to hold up in coverage whatsoever. We got Flowers going to work here one-on-one. He's collapsed the pocket. Romeo's, he would have just rocked him. If it would have been any longer, he would have rocked Matt Ryan on that play. But this is what I'm saying, man. We just didn't get tons of opportunities to get sacks. But Romeo, I mean, I would say after the Saints game, he started picking. Once the Saints game came, for whatever reason, he started picking up. Before that, he was kind of quiet. I think it was because, he wasn't being used the right way. But once the games got going and he started to be able to get after it, this guy got on a tear. And he was just dangerous. Every week, he was scary for teams. I mean, those numbers don't lie. Right, this guy was scary. Here's one of his sacks. This is one of those occasions where it was a coverage sack. Gets out of his break, he beats his guy, but because good coverage and also Raglan getting there, he's able to get a sack. So, sacks, they're cool, but it doesn't mean a ton. It's just about getting pressure consistently, and the sacks will find themselves, right? You'll find the sacks ultimately. Again, Trey Flowers and Romeo working across each other, something they didn't do early in the year. Here's the play action. I just kind of show you his athleticism. You're not juking out Romeo in space. Romeo's not someone you want to see in space. Romeo here, Flowers on the inside. This is just not what you want to see. Look at Flowers, man. Flowers is just too quick for a center. That's why they did this. But you only can do this if you force passing. And you can't do that if you can't stop the run early. So watch this. Boom, swim move. Goes right by Mac. Then you got Romeo. That was clean. Watch this smack here. So he's going to set you up first with the smack. Boom. And then he's going to go two-hand swipe. Swipe those arms down. And then the rip through. And he's going right through. And you got guys chasing after it. Look at the athleticism for Romeo to ultimately get to the quarterback there. He can run guys down too. Romeo is paid for a reason, man. He paid this man. Again, on the bottom of the screen here, Trey Flowers inside. He can cause havoc, but look at Romeo. I mean, these are the same games, man. I didn't need to find a lot of games because it's just, boom, I just turn it on. Just consistency, right? Again, smacks the arms down, rip through, got it. Right back to the quarterback, and he's stripping the sack, and they're picking up Jamie Collins is. This time he's on the right side here against the run here, and I kind of just want to show it. He's in there making a play. That's good. He sets the edge, makes a play. It's important stuff that you got to do. You got to be able to set the edge and make a play. Romeo on the left side of your screen, and you got him held up, but this is good coverage this time, so they have a chance to get to him, and that pocket collapses. Now you got Romeo on the outside here. Watch him set the edge and then come down and make a play on the football. That's something he needs to improve upon. There were early in the season where he was getting stuck too far outside. He needs to make sure he's, staying in if that's what his role is going to be next year. Look at this one, though. Watch them drop Trey Flowers into coverage, right? Trey Flowers drops coverage one-on-one here. Again with the rip-through, and then he works his way back with the spin, but the pocket collapses, and ultimately he comes down with sack. Good coverage, leads a sack. Now that one, unfortunately, this one turned into a 15-yard flag because apparently Danny Shelton brought him to the ground. Whatever. Anyways, weak stuff, so that didn't even really matter, but whatever. All right, again, Romeo. You got Romeo inside now. Romeo's going to drop. Now he's going to come in. And he's got to make a play on the ball here, and he flies by. See, he runs by too many times. He's got to make sure he kind of breaks down. I want to showcase that. Then at the bottom of the screen here, one-on-one against. Dude, this guy is tough. Like, he's got so much in his pass rushing arsenal. He can just win quickly. There's not a lot of guys that win this quick, right? Starts, boom, one push, just a strong left arm, smacks down the two arms, two-hand swipe, and just works way back. But this is a touchdown. This should not be a touchdown. When you win this fast, this should not be a touchdown. This is where the Lions had problems last year. Plays like this shouldn't result in touchdowns. Let's take a look at how fast he gets back there, and yet it still turns into a TD for the Colts, okay? Let's look at that. Boom, he's got the snap. All right, ready? Go. 1, 2, 3. Flick it up, one-on-one, and it's a touchdown. That shouldn't be the case. Worse, that's incomplete because he's throwing it up, but it turns into a touchdown. Only at the bottom left, again, showing off that strength. Look at this. He's just going to bulldoze this tackle off his feet. He was not ready for that, and he got Trey found behind, and that pass is incomplete. Wow. This guy is a stud, man. This guy is a stud. And I like this one from Trey. Trey just blows this up. Watch him just stand up the tackle, and he gets in the way right there, and then he finds his way to get back into the play. This guy's relentless. Trey Flowers is relentless. And then one against Tampa Bay for good measure, working his way inside, just showing that speed. And this is why I'm not in love with Leonard Fournette. What is this? Leonard, what are you doing? Hit the hole. Look at him. Jog. Nope. He ain't getting nowhere with that weak stuff. So my point is, man, Romeo Okwara is a baller, and we got pass rushers. Like, even without Everson, Julian can get after it. We need to see him healthy next season. I need to see this guy play. Okay, this guy's bigger than Melvin Ingram. You got Romeo. You got Trey. These guys can go. if you can slow down the run early downs, which has to be the focus, and then you need better coverage. Hopefully these secondary guys improve. But with bad coverage, terrible run defense, somehow this guy still had 10 sacks and he was tied for 5th in the league in pressures. Are you kidding me? We just weren't able to take advantage of all the opportunities that were there because we struggled in coverage. A lot of injuries were an issue, and against the run. And again, because we were playing I think some of it had to do with playing the 2-gap scheme. When you're playing 2 gaps and you have defensive linemen that are 260, 270, they're not usually big enough to fill 2 gaps. So those were tough situations for them, and then they weren't impactful. When they were impactful, they got one-on-one opportunities like this, right? They had one-on-one opportunities because they brought an extra man. And you get them one-on-one with the tackle. You get them one-on-one with the tackle, bad things happen. Most of the time, though, that wasn't the case. They had 2 guys on one. And when you got them going against 2 guys, it's just about clogging the lane. It's not about doing what you're doing best, and it's getting after it. And I expect the Lions to bring some heat with Capers, which should open up these guys as well. Next year could be very exciting for these pass rushers. Saying Romeo has to be an all-down player because he doesn't, but you got to get him and Trey on the field at the same time. You got to get these pass rushers playing, so you got to slow down and run early. We weren't playing him that often. We weren't playing him on early downs. We just made him a pass rusher. We didn't play him on early downs because he's big enough for the scheme, so we couldn't play him on early downs. Then we started getting him involved, so what do? Well, we decided to put Pennicini and Shelton in the inside. That way these guys could get one-on-one opportunities on the outside, which is the right thing to do, but I expect to see that more next season. Get Trey, get Romeo on the field at the same time, and if we can slow down this run, if we get better linebacker play, better coverage, these guys are going to eat, but could you imagine seeing that consistently? And not only that, sending extra guys, even just showing extra guys can occupy space. If you send extra guys, it's going to open up one-on-one. It's going to open up opportunities for these guys to get to play one-on-one. And they don't get that enough, right? They're playing in a defense where a lot of times they're going against 2 offensive linemen, and they're not that big either. And it's taken away from what their skill set was. So Matt Patricia, he did try to adjust because I don't think they expected Romeo to be and break out like he did. But they tried to adjust and get him more involved by changing things defensively. So they tried, give him credit there to fit in the scheme, but still tried to adjust. But we could be looking at a defense that if they're sending some pressure with Capers, if they're getting more one-on-one opportunities, if they're all on the field at the same time, if they're healthy, this could be a really tough D-line. I honestly think Romeo Okwara's strength is being just a pass rusher, a rusher that can get after it. He's got strength mixed with some really good speed and some athleticism. Best on the outside. Flowers can play inside as well, and he could be really good there, but I think he's best on the outside. But he does need some improvement, in run defense. I think a scheme change could help that a little bit as well, but he does seem to overrun things. He doesn't always finish on tackles. He does have some missed tackles, not really stopping, not really breaking down on tackles. So I think tackling needs to see some improvement, but I think, setting the edge stuff like that can be very difficult when you're not big enough. And I've also noticed that, early in the season, he was getting too far out when setting the edge and not staying close enough inside. So I think there's a little work that could be used as a run defender, but as a pass rusher, I think he's better, one of the better pass rushers in the league. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.